The version 4.4 live stream has been finalized and everything has come out on what's going to happen in version 4.4. At first, I was very hyped because, again, we're getting some really good stuff in regards to a costume that I've been looking for so long and a character that I've been wanting for so long. However, now taking a step back away from it, away from the hype initially, and looking at it, did Genshin cook? I don't know. Let's go ahead and take today to talk about it. But before we get into that, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below and hit that notification bell to be notified of when the next Genshin Impact video comes out. And y'all don't forget, I am sponsored by the ever wonderful Gamer Subs. Use code TYSTER for 10% off. And let's go ahead and get into today's video. Before we talk about the meat and potatoes, I definitely want to say a big shout out to Traveler.gg for making a condensed overview of the update. The people over here are fantastic, and hopefully one of these days I get to work with y'all in some capacity. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the update. So the update is called the Vibrant Harriers Aloft in Spring Breeze. Very lengthy title, but this, just from this screenshot alone, looks fantastic. You know, just because we see, you know, Bird Mommy off until on the right, we see new costumes for both Shenhe and the ever wonderful Ms. Ganyu, and we see Ga Ming taking front and center, which he looks kind of cool, but that doesn't mean that this update cooks. So let's first talk about the banners right here. I'm gonna go ahead and move myself over here. Boom. We're moved up here now. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about phase one. Phase one is Xianyun, aka Cloud Retainer in human form, and Nahida. And those are going to be some pretty high banners. Of course, Cloud Retainer doesn't look like she's going to be game breaking. She does look like she's going to be a fun unit to have. And of course, we get the 4-star Gaming on the side. Now, I can't tell you how many times I've gotten so many comments about it's not gaming, it's gaming. Gaming is a lot more fun to say, so I'm gonna say gaming every once in a while, but it is actually pronounced gaming. Come on, y'all. We want to be gaming up in here. But anyways, phase one banner, pretty sick. Because again, for people who haven't gotten Nahida, Nahida is one of the best units in the game, especially with the Dendro Electro reactions. I would definitely highly recommend pulling for Nahida if you get the chance. Now, of course, would I say pull for Cloud Retainer? Not unless you are a simp like me who loves Cloud Retainer human form, because she is just hot. Bird Mommy is just hot. And then of course, Gaming being a 4-star Pyro user, he's gonna kind of be the plunging meta. So like we used to have with Zhao back in the 1.0 series of updates, we're now getting Gaming and Xianyun. So yeah, there you go. Now, of course, Event Wish 2, speaking of Zhao, we are getting the return of Zhao and the return of Himeko, which both of them are really good. I wouldn't say they're like game breaking. Zhao being a plunging DPS, especially with his burst, and then Himeko being one of the best off-field DPSs in my opinion. But it's all really depending on how you're going to build them. So phase 2 looks meh, but I'm really glad that I have an update that or not an update, but a phase I can skip. So that way I can get companionship levels up for Gaming and Cloud Retainer up. And yes, I do work on every single one. Let's go and talk about Cloud Retainer. Her kit looks all right. Like, she gets a triple jump, which is pretty sick. We're going to be able to like travel a lot higher with characters. Now teaming her up with, you know, Wanderer to travel is really sick. But of course, she's also a healer as well from what I've been seeing. Elemental skills, Xianyun performs up to 3 special sky ladder leaps, and according to the circumstances during the ladder 2 leaps, she can either choose to unleash onto the ground or in midair. It's basically a plunging attack, and when she does that, I believe that's what heals. Or no, it's the burst right here. Xianyun is able to call forth the Sacred Breeze, summoning her very own invention, as well as her pride and joy, the mechanism Star Wicker. That's a weird name. While continuously restoring the HP of her companions, it also assists in riding the winds, allowing them to leap up and with ease by increasing their jump height and dealing AoE animo damage when the performing plunge attacks. So you basically get an elemental reaction if you're teaming her up with, let's say, someone along the lines of, you know, Hu Tao. Now, Hu Tao is probably better to do charge attacks, but that's just an example. Teaming her up with, or teaming up Cloud Retainer with somebody who can take elemental priority on their own weapon would cause swirl damage, I believe. So I would need to test this a little bit more so I understand it, but that's what I'm getting from this. Excuse me, that was disgusting. Ugh, my nose has been stuffy. But let's go ahead and talk about Gaming here. Gaming would be that character that would go well with Cloud Retainer because he is a 4-star Pyro Claymore user, and he does take the role of a plunging DPS in this regard. His elemental skill, when he makes contact with the targeted terrain, he leaps upwards and then unleashes an extra powerful plunging attack that deals pyro damage to his opponents. But when he performs the plunging attack in this way, Gaming loses a portion of his HP. So he has kind of a little bit of a Hu Tao aspect to it, but not entirely. God, my throat is so dry right now. Excuse me. All right, let's talk about the burst. When he unleashes Soni's Gilded Dance and summons Mon Chai, Gaming recovers a certain amount of HP and deals AoE pyro damage. Gaming can also recover his strength by coming into contact with Mon Chai. This lets him unleash the elemental skill Bestial Ascent immediately once more while Wushu Stance is active. As long as Gaming is in good enough shape, he can summon Mon Chai again to assist in his performance. Now, he is self-sustaining, which is really, really good. I think that he's going to be one fun 4-star DPS character, so I can't wait to try him out. New weapons, we're getting the Crane's Echoing Call, which is going to be Cloud Retainer's weapon. We are getting a new boss called the Solitary Sani, which this boss looks so cool. Like, I am so stoked for this boss in that regard because he just looks absolutely sick. We're getting a story quest, obviously, for Cloud Retainer. That's pretty standard. And now let's go ahead and get into the events. The first event is the Vibrant Harriers Aloft in the Spring Breeze, which gets you a free Xingqiu costume. So that's pretty cool. Not only that, but from there, it looks like we're going to be getting a free 4-star, which is normal for Lantern Rite as it is. So this isn't like hype. This is just in general, like what we usually get. So I'm not all that mad about it. I'm probably gonna get Gaming because I'm gonna get as many constellations as I can after the summon video, unless I just pull a Charlotte and freaking summon 6 of them in like 3 summons. Now, of course, the first event of this major event for Lantern Rite is called the Guide Goba to collect Matsutake. Now, this event looks like garbage. In all honesty, I looked at this on stream and I couldn't get hyped for this. It's literally just you solve the puzzle and that's it. It is what it is. Cool. Now you also get LIYUE, but yeah. This event I thought would be really, really cool. It's a bumper car event and I don't know the name of it. Or Joyful Beasts and their auspices or auspices. But it's a bumper car event basically, and I think that would be cool to have with other players, because what's going to happen is like you get these things and you can go into the bumper car, as you see the Ganyu right there, and you hit the opponent away from these little doohickeys right here, and there's like 3 different modes to it. So I think that's going to be fun. That's going to be probably the funnest part of this event, because the next part is literally just we've had this a couple months ago, I believe, or a couple updates ago, where you're floating through the air and you have to dodge certain things and collect energy particles. It's very basic, very niche. Honestly, it kind of turned me off because 1 out of the 3 of these mini events is actually kind of cool. This one is not it. The Indecent Cloud Striding. Now, this event I did get hyped for because it opens up the possibilities of new hilichurl enemies. Journey through heligmatic terrain. I have such a hard time reading that. I was having a hard time on stream as well. But basically you're trying to be stealthy, which is whatever. Like the stealth mission part is whatever to me. However, afterwards you get to fight a big hilichurl that's not like the normal dudes. It's like a big Samichurl, and I think that's gonna be cool because he just looks sick. So I like the fact that we're expanding the old enemies into this, and we're expanding the old enemy races. So I'm pretty stoked on that. I think that's a win. Triumphant Frenzy is another one I think is an absolute win, and the reason being is because it has trials in 4 rounds of 4 random sets of characters. I think that's a win, and the reason being is because I feel as though everybody just gets like caught up in just being like, I'm good with one character or I'm good with one team. Now you don't have a choice in the matter. You actually have to learn the other characters. And I think that's cool because it opens up a lot of possibilities. Now, I don't know if it's going to be 3 5-stars, 3 4-stars every time. But again, I think this opens up a lot of possibilities for players to get better. So I think that's a win in that regard. Now, is it going to be a fun event? For me, probably not. It's probably going to be another day in the office, but it's going to add another layer to it to where, okay, you know, maybe instead of running a Nouvellette team, I have to run like Nouvellette, Himeko, Kirara, and Bennett, just so I can get attack boosts and work on just getting as much Dendro Hyper Bloom type stuff going on. So it's gonna be a little different, but yeah, but it looks cool. It looks cool. I like the fact that we're gonna be randomized. So excuse me, my nose is just so stuffed up right now. Receiver of Friends from Afar is a cooking event. Yeah, that's it. Like, I don't find this to be a win. You get to cook for characters, like not just in LIYUE, but for anybody out there that's like a part of the Genshinverse or is gonna visit LIYUE for Lantern Rite. I don't find this a win. I don't think it's that great. Now, is that a loss for the update? I would say so, because honestly, it makes me not want to go for this event. Like, I go for every event because I want all the stuff, but it's just weird that they did that. Free costume, Xingqiu, of course, looking like Fiorina. So, like, I like, if you put them side by side, I couldn't tell who was who. I'm just kidding, but it looks like Fiorina's brother, I guess, in that regard. But hey, I'll take it because Xingqiu is a great character. So, the Ganyu costume. I love this thing. There are people who are complaining about the Ganyu costume. I love this costume. I love it. This is an absolute win, and it makes me want, like, oh my god, look at the hips don't lie, man. I'm just saying. But yeah, the Ganyu costume looks absolutely sick. And then of course the Shinhua costume looks absolutely gorgeous as well. As you can see, my word, they knew exactly what they were doing. Now, I'm obviously gonna buy both of them because I'm a simp. Can't help it, but yeah. And then of course we got some new adjustments, which we're going to talk about in another thing too, but they talked about the quick loadout and custom loadouts. But I'm still confused about it a little bit, but we'll get to that. Chunyu Vale is going to be the new area. Now, of course, I was speculating, is this going to be the bridge between LIYUE and Fontaine? It most likely, well, not most likely, it's what they're saying it is. But what I want to know is if they're going to make that the actual like Fontaine area, or are they going to make it a LIYUE area only? Because we still need to get the rest of the Hydro Oculi before version, 5.0. But of course, we still have 4.4 onward to 4.8, so who knows when we're going to get that last area for Fontaine. TCG update, new cards. Cool. And then, of course, they announced the OnePlus X Genshin Impact Qingque phone. That's cool. And then a music disc area. Now, the update itself wasn't all that bad. Like, was it the most amazing update? No. Was it super hype? Probably not. But there are a couple things that are coming with it, but we're also in the stages of the, I guess you could say, a Bount arc, in a way, a filler arc, because that's how Genshin works. Like, you have your main storylines go from the .1 or .0s to the .3s, and then everything else is filler. because the overarching story is done for that moment. However, I do think that they need to do better about their filler arcs, because while the stories might be good, the events are terrible. Like, if this was an anime, I'd be perfectly fine with this filler arc. But this isn't the anime. This is a game. Make me invested into the game. Now, I'm gonna say it's not hype, but let's go ahead and also talk about the stuff that went on for the fast equip stuff. So, quick loadouts. A set of artifacts will be put together for your reference based on data and recently active players. When generating a loadout, it will only consider artifacts not already equipped by other characters. Now, bear in mind, it's not going to be a set unless you have a set ready. So you have to have pieces that are ready to go. I don't like that, because again, it's like they'll pick any set, any pieces. Now, custom loadouts, you can pick your main stats. You could choose your set type, it looks like, and it should work like that. However, I do see some possible concerns with it. I think that there might be slight issues, but I can't really put my foot on it. Like, it's tough with this, right? Is this gonna let me open this up? Nope, it's not gonna work. Son of a biscuit eater. But yeah, there's some things that I feel might not be good with it. I'm kind of confused as to like certain aspects, but that's just me. It might just be good. It might just be a freaking bomb AF type of update, but I don't know. I have my concerns with it, but we'll see. They're going to be updating Serena Teapot. They are saying like the number of furnishings is going to be increased, but from what I saw on these ones, it didn't look like it. Furnishing categories and filter optimizations are going to give filters for like furnishings, so that's cool. Editing screen list optimization. They're going to put companions, what was it? Companions will now show your companions' friendship levels as well, which is cool, unless you're like me, who's already done it all. Lingering moment optimizations, which I think is just the speech bubbles that you have with them or something like that. But I don't know. I haven't done this, so maybe I'm just crazy. And then of course we have more system and function updates. Now the commission's gonna have a little like exclamation point, and the claim rewards thing is gonna have an exclamation point. Yay, that's great. I don't care, to be honest. Increases the level of party compositions, which great, you could make more parties. Awesome. Optimization to test run challenges. When trying out new characters, you'll now be able to choose the challenge to the next character trial stage without having to exit the current stage first. I think that's a plus, because I got so sick and tired of having to back out, go into the next trial. So there's that. Borderless function I thought was the best one, because I am so sick and tired of not having my Genshin Impact full screen, and every time I tab out, it minimizes. Thank you, Genshin, for finally putting this in after 4.4 updates. Like, this should have been like in the 1.0s. But finally we get it, so I'm pretty happy about that. And then model precision before the optimization, after. Can you tell the difference? I can't really. It's whatever to me. Overall, it looks like we're getting a bunch of cool stuff, I guess, in regards to 4.4, but is it a dud? Probably. I think Genshin needs to work on their events a lot more. Their events could be a lot better. Now, there are some good ones in here, but there are a lot of bad ones in here. I want to see Genshin get better. I want to see this stuff get... I want people to enjoy Genshin the way that I do. Like, I love playing Genshin. I get all my stuff done really quickly, but when I have the chance to help out somebody else, I love playing Genshin to help other people out. Genshin needs to do better in regards to not only keeping their player base happy by giving more rewards, but also like make people want to play these events. Give us reasons to play this event. There's so many things that I think that Genshin can do better. And, you know, I was super hyped when I was doing my reaction, but then as I sat there and I looked, I was like, really, there's not much going on. So I don't know. That's just my opinion on it. And And that's going to be it for today's video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe down below. Let me know what you think about the 4.4 update. Which character are you going to be summoning for? Anyways, that's going to be it. Love you all to death. And as always, we will catch you in the next video. Please take care and be safe.